Welcome to Hater Proof, a podcast for self-improvement and good listening parts. You're tuned in to shake the haters off and be truthful to ourselves. Remember to stay hater proof and stay tuned. If you are a hater, exit immediately. Shake it off, vigorously and intentionally, and also wisely. Proof is in the pudding. This podcast, distributing hater-proof audio content via the internet, is dedicated to self-improvement, current news' headline, and the host's personal touch on how, why to get and remain hater-proof. It is not for the haters. You'll find these episode titles are also hater-proof traits, and they will describe you if you aren't a hater. This podcast is an after-hours extension of Hearth Business. Hearth Business provides dynamic and timeless administrative solutions. It's part of the nonprofit and health and wellness division. Listen up, you hear, so make the best of it. Adherence to the application of something, typically that which is necessary for the sake of logic, accuracy, or fairness, and that is being hater-proof. Also to say steadiness, stability, constancy, regularity, lack of deviation, dependability, reliability. These are all examples of how we should be living our lives. And every step we take has to be consistently constant and hater-proof. This is consistent. Enjoy the episode. Hater-proof is on Apple, Acast, Pocket Cast, and Spotify is the podcast host currently. So it's published on Spotify firstly, then you can listen on the other platforms shortly thereafter. Hater-proof is in your friendly neighborhood search engine, and so is Hearth Business. We're getting optimized, people. www.hearthbusiness.com or type Linktree at Hearth Business in your search bar. That's right. Put it in your browser and stroke it. Keystrokes, that is. These are headlines I'm reading and a little bit of overview from the headlines. These are not my opinions, unless I actually speak to my opinion on the matter. Alternative, NASA preparing to launch mission to world that may be habitable today. NASA's Europa Clipper spacecraft is nearing its launch date. The small probe is set to explore one of the most promising spots to look for extraterrestrial life in the solar system, Jupiter's moon Europa. It's a tantalizing prospect with 10 science instruments on board. The space agency is hoping the spacecraft will determine once and for all if a suspected subsurface ocean hidden beneath an icy shell could be harboring life on the distant moon. The agency is eyeing a launch window that opens on October 10th. They still are waiting to hear more. The journey to Europa is expected to take 5.5 years. Humanity's extinction plan may be stored on a tiny crystal. On March 2nd, 1972, NASA launched the Pioneer 10, and on it was a plaque called, rather imaginatively, the Pioneer plaque, which featured a pictorial message in case a NASA spacecraft was ever picked up by aliens. The plaque contains nude figures of a human male and female, along with several symbols which are designed to provide information about the origin of the spacecraft. One could argue that was a way to preserve the human race, as it gives aliens the ability to contact us and where to find us. But now humans have done something a little bit more feasible and have etched DNA information on a 5D memory crystal, a revolutionary data storage format that can survive for billions of years. I think it's a good idea to have our GPS coordinates implanted on something that an extraterrestrial race can find us with. Let's just hope they come in peace. An incredible organism is evolving at lightning speed, faster than we ever imagined possible. A type of zooplankton, Daphnia plulex, aka the water flea, is a microscopic crustacean whose unique reproduction habits make it the perfect species for studying evolution and natural selection. A new study looks at how natural selection works more subtly than previously believed while an organism is in a stable environment. Insights into this evolutionary mechanism could help scientists understand the adaptive capacity of organisms in the wild, while also developing strategies to harden vulnerable food webs against climate change. Scientists finally deciphered jaw-dropping alien transmission from 1977. In August 1977, a strange transmission was picked up during a routine scan for signals of alien life. For more than 1 minute, Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope recorded waves from near the constellation Sagittarius that were 30 times stronger than the background murmurings of deep space. Furthermore, the radio waves were transmitted at the remarkably specific frequency of 1420 megahertz as life science notes. Hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe, naturally emits radio waves at this frequency, leading some astronomers to suggest that it may have been deliberately chosen by extraterrestrial life to communicate with Earth. The mysterious transmission soon became known as the wow signal in recognition of the exclamation scribbled on a printout of the data by astronomer Jerry Amon. Now nearly 50 years have passed since that extraordinary message was recorded, and nothing like it has ever been detected again. Indeed, over the past 5 decades, experts have failed to convincingly explain the signal using natural phenomena, leaving many to conclude that it may truly be evidence of alien life. However, at last, one team of scientists have come up with a possible cause of the anomaly. And sorry, ET fans, but it has nothing to do with little green men. Abel Mendez, a planetary astrobiologist based at the University of Puerto Rico, believes that the signal may actually be the evidence of an extremely rare flare. He and his colleagues posit that a dense magnetic star known as magnetar may have emitted this strong blast which struck a cold interstellar cloud of hydrogen gas. This, they write in a preprint paper submitted to the Astrophysical Journal, would have caused the hydrogen cloud to emit the radiation detected by Big Ear. It is a very rare event, Mendez told Live Science. I am still amazed that astronomers were able to detect it. He and his fellow researchers reached their groundbreaking hypothesis after unexpectedly discovering 8 wild-like signals while sifting through old data from the now defunct Arecibo Observatory. The signals, each of which lasted 2 to 3 minutes, were recorded by Arecibo between February and May 2020 and all had frequencies close to the WOW's 1420 megahertz. That a number of these unusual signals were recorded in just an hour's worth of Arecibo's data suggests a natural origin, the team argue. And given that hydrogen clouds are common throughout the universe and naturally emit radio waves with the same frequency, they are the most likely source of the transmission. Still, the newly identified signals were 5,200 times fainter than the original WOW signal. But this, Mendez argues, is because they weren't illuminated by a magnetar. In order to fully understand the real origins of the WOW signal and its more recent counterparts, Mendez will still need more detailed information on changes to the properties of the hydrogen clouds, particularly their brightness. This doesn't really tell us about the actual message like I thought it would, but still very awesome to be able to study something like that. Passenger killed in hijacking pursuit of MTA bus in Los Angeles. One person was fatally shot when an MTA bus was hijacked, passengers on board, and then pursued by police from South Los Angeles to downtown LA early Wednesday morning. Officers began to receive radio calls for potential assault with a deadly weapon on a bus near South Figueroa Street and Manchester Avenue in the Vermont Knolls neighborhood of South LA around 12:45 a.m. Los Angeles Police Department Deputy Chief Donald Graham said during a news conference. Authorities learned that a person on the bus had pulled out a gun, prompting the bus driver to activate a panic button that displays a call 911 outside the bus. Police said SWAT officers also rescued a passenger who was not seriously hurt. Another passenger was found in the bus suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. The unidentified victim was taken to a local hospital and pronounced dead, Graham said. Investigators believe the hijacker shot the victim before the pursuit got underway. The suspect was taken into custody, but the motive for the shooting remains unknown. In sports, Ben Simmons' trainer says Netstar will rebound from injury. Trust me on this one. The veteran skills coach, in response to a fan comment on X, said, "Trust me on this one," when vouching for the 3-time All-Star being better now than during his peak seasons with the Philadelphia 76ers. Brickley has been a go-to shooting coach for some of the best players in basketball. He has worked with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kevin Love, Paige Buchers, and Ozzie Fudd. The biggest factor for Simmons will be staying on the court. He has played a total of 57 games over the past 3 seasons, during which time he has had back surgery 2 different times. He looks pretty good to me in this video. He has training, but of course the training has to be applied on the court. I mean, these athletes take a hitting. I don't know. It just, I think it's, they say like it's not as bad as it looks, but I think it is. Anyway, I guess that's why they get paid so much money, and they're professionals in their trade, and it makes good TV, so to speak. Either way, that's their profession. They're getting paid, and hopefully he does perform better. NFL Week 3 of 18. Commanders versus Bengals 38-33. Chiefs versus Falcons 22-17. Lions versus Cardinals 20-13. 49ers versus Rams 24-27. Ravens versus Cowboys 28-25. Jaguars versus Bills 10-47. They won the last episode when I watched them against the Dolphins 31-10. They're looking good. I think they won 3 of 3, and they play the Ravens this Sunday. Cowboys versus Giants is tonight, which the Giants have the 2 highest graded rookies so far this season. Malik Neighbors at 80.0 and Andrew Phillips at 80.2. And definitely going to try to watch that tonight too. Esports, League of Legends Worlds 2024 schedule, matches and results. 2024 League of Legends World Championship LOL Worlds 2024 event kicks off on September 25th, 2024 and features a total of 20 teams duking it out for the gold. After the regional finals, LOL Worlds 2024 continues with the play-in stage from September 25th to September 29th. This is followed by the Swiss stage from October 3rd to October 13th. Then the knockout stage kicks off on October 17th and culminates in the grand final on November 2nd. The grand final features an opening ceremony at 7 a.m. Pacific time before the match begins at 8 a.m. Pacific time. MDK won 2-0 against VKE, and PSG won 2-1 against PNG. Both played yesterday on September 25th. You can find updated scores on esports.gg. Amazon Prime reveals free games for September 2024. Amazon Prime Gaming is giving away 28 games to its members in September 2024. The list, including the Game of the Year edition of the highest rated Lord of the Rings game of all time, Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor, Borderlands 2, and Borderlands the pre-sequel, are also part of the September 5th batch of freebies, as are Eternights, Greedfall, Lego Indiana Jones, The Original Adventures, Minoboa Walk Through Life, and Whispered Secrets. LOTR fans with an Amazon Prime membership can also jump into Lego The Lord of the Rings at no additional cost. TikTok and Variety preview the future of gaming trends and storytelling with Riot Games, Warner Brothers, and more at inaugural Joint Leadership Summit. The $200 billion video game industry is increasingly blending with Hollywood, and the intersection was front and center at the inaugural Variety Presents Gaming on TikTok Leadership Summit. Held at the Edition in West Hollywood on Wednesday, the event drew an impressive lineup of industry heavyweights, including Neil Druckmann, CEO of Naughty Dog, Catherine Downing, Director of Platform Partnerships at Riot Games, Leslie Poyetos, Brand Partnership Manager at TikTok, Sheen Gao, TikTok's Head of Live Operations in America, and Cameron Curtis, EVP of Worldwide Digital Marketing at Warner Brothers. The day-long summit also gathered senior gaming industry executives and a handful of top social media creators and influencers who make a living posting their thoughts about new games and related lifestyle matters. Much of the day's conversation revolved around the best paths to success in adapting gaming IP to TV and film. Druckmann, whose work at Naughty Dog, home of The Last of Us and Uncharted game franchises, recently scored as TV series and film adaptations, respectively, weighed in. PUBG Mobile 3.4 update, new ranking system. This is how you can qualify for PMGO 2025. In the new PUBG Mobile 3.4 new ranking system classic mode, the top 500 ranked players at the end of the Ultimate Royale season can get a chance to try out for a professional team and qualify for 2025 PMGO. Tencent has introduced a new ranking system in the new PUBG Mobile Ultimate Royale mode in the latest PUBG Mobile 3.4 update, enabling players to qualify for official PUBG Mobile esports. The new PUBG Mobile 3.4 update was released on September 11, 2024 and introduced this new PUBG Mobile ranking system. Table toppers at the end of the Ultimate Royale season will get an opportunity to join a professional team and qualify for the PUBG Mobile Global Open PMGO 2025. At the end of the PUBG Ultimate Royale mode season, the top 500 players will get a chance to play for professional PUBG Mobile teams like Alpha 7, Vampire Esports, Reject, and more. These players can qualify for PUBG Mobile Global Open 2025 alongside top-tier teams. PMGO 2025 will be hosted in Uzbekistan and is set to be the first ever international event of PUBG Mobile's 2025 competitive season. So you should definitely get into that if you play PUBG Mobile. And I would like to. I wonder if I should enter. Should I enter? I just need a mobile phone. I mean, it's interesting because I really think that the gaming, the esports will be in the Olympics when the next Olympic comes, and they have the mobile phones where they're actually at the event competing with the mobile phones for the mobile games. So that's really interesting. Moving on. Top classic browser games to play in 2024. You seemingly cannot blink these days without a brand new mobile or browser game hitting the market. It's often somewhat overwhelming, and there's so much choice you wind up with paralysis as to what you should play. That's where the classic browser games enter the picture. They're timeless, fun, and readily available to download or boot up and play with little to no issue. Warfare 1917, Bloons Tower Defense 6, RuneScape, Forge of Empires, Kingdom Rush, Adventure Quest. Those are all downloadable games that you can play on your browser, and I do that a little bit sometimes. I like it. It's really fun. Financial headlines. What's going on with Intel stock on Tuesday? This Left 4 Dead tech stock just got a major lifeline. Basically, Intel stock maintained upward momentum on Tuesday, a day after CEO Pat Gelsinger clarified its restructuring stance, bagged a multi-billion-dollar U.S. chip-making deal from existing customer Amazon.com Inc. cloud unit, and won a U.S. semiconductor grant. So the chip maker proposed to convert its foundry business into an independent unit with its board and raise external capital. The struggling chip maker also looks to divest a partial stake in the programmable chip unit Altera. But will the company be able to maintain its positive momentum? Let's take a look. So from the looks of it, for the 5-day forecast, it looks pretty good. I mean, there's no indication of them really slowing down. It's not that much of an increase, but it's definitely a gradual increase. We're kind of like a steady increase. So, I mean, It's looking pretty good. Exclusive. Attorney Amber C. Saunders talks generational wealth and how Black Americans can prioritize estate planning. Estate planning is a concept that many people, particularly in communities of color, tend to overlook. However, as attorney Amber C. Saunders explains, the implications of not planning for the future can be devastating. In an exclusive interview with ADW, Saunders shared her personal story of how she transitioned into estate planning and the significant role it plays in preserving wealth for future generations. Estate planning, attorney Saunders clarified, isn't just for the wealthy or those with sprawling assets. People should not be misled by an estate sale or anything like that just because it sounds real fancy and real rich. Anything that's in your name at the time that you passed away is a part of your estate. It could be your clothes, your earrings, or anything. All of those things are part of your estate, Saunders said. As the largest wealth transfer in history looms, with baby boomers passing down their businesses and other assets, Black families risk being left out due to the lack of estate planning. The stakes have never been higher, Saunders said. If we don't get this right, we're going to miss out on an historic opportunity to pass wealth down to the next generation. I'd like to point out that my business, Hearth Business, does offer tax planning so that you're able to plan for any credits that you may have at the end of the year when you file your return. And also as a business, you need to think about paying your taxes year round as well. So having a tax plan will definitely help you in the coming years to make sure that you take advantage of all of the credits and tax breaks that you have available. And this is important because estate planning is important, and we as Black people should definitely consider our generational wealth and how that has impacted us from the past and the present, and how it will impact us in the future. So I mean, you have to always think about the future and understand that generational wealth is something that Black people seem to overlook or skip or whatever, like she said. But for more information or to contact attorney Amber C. Saunders, visit her website, thesaundersfirm.com. Investing. So I'll point out that this information is from a popular source and I am only informing of investing opportunities. I am not your financial advisor. Also, these are numbers from today. All right, so I have my little spreadsheet here that I did. NVIDIA, their price today at $214 was $123.81 per share. That's up $5.11 from 2 weeks ago. Last episode was 2 weeks ago, so these are bi-weekly forecasts that I'm giving for these particular stocks. Microsoft was today at $215. Their stock price was at $430.56 per share. That's up $9.22 from last episode. Amazon today at $215 was at $191.59 per share. That's up $6.51 from last episode. Apple was up. Apple at $215 today was at $227.39, and that is up $5.49 from last episode. Tesla at $216 today was at $254.67. That's up $26.23 from last episode. And Google today at $216 was at $162.85. That's up $9.03 from last episode. Meta at $217 today was at $566.90, and that's up $45.98 from last episode. So just looking at this, Meta is at the highest cost per share. They have the highest change from last episode, and so I think Meta is the winner here when you think of these particular stocks. And the lowest is NVIDIA, which was up $5.11 from the last episode, but they're also the lowest change amount as well. It's the lowest stock price, the lowest change amount for NVIDIA. And yeah, so I mean, every stock here had an increase. Every stock is up for this one from a bi-weekly forecast. I know it's looking good. It's looking real good. So yeah, that's for the Magnificent Seven, as they call them. Art and entertainment headlines. YFN Lucci not dead, just victim of a social media hoax. YFN Lucci got caught up in a nasty social media rumor that he had been killed in prison, a pure fabrication for clicks online, TMZ Hip Hop can confirm. Lucci's attorney Drew Feinling, who represented him in his RICO trial that resulted in his 10-year prison sentence back in January, assures us his client is live and well. The blog spot that spread the hoax was playing on the emotions of the recent death of Rich Homie Quan, YFN Lucci's former label mate. Fans were equally guilty for sharing heavy news from sites with no sources. This is the type of cultural fails Kendrick Lamar, D1, and Lecrae have been preaching the community needs to clean up. Lucci pleaded guilty to 1 count of violating the Street Gang and Terrorism Prevention Act, but there's a chance he'll be released in January 2025. New Max and HBO shows and movies in September 2024. HBO's biggest premiere of September is undoubtedly the new DC series The Penguin, which stars Colin Farrell wearing several layers of prosthetics as he reprises his role as the titular Penguin from 2021's The Batman. Farrell was responsible for the funniest line readings in that film. The other movies that are coming out was The Boy and the Heron, September 6th on Max, Civil War, September 13th on Max, and The Penguin, September 19th, HBO. Those are the movies for this month that are new for Max and HBO. UTSA Arts hosts International Exhibition on Post-COVID Culture. UTSA Arts presents Notes for Tomorrow, collection of artworks from around the world reflecting on the cultural transition ushered in by the COVID-19 pandemic. The exhibition will run through Saturday, October 26th at the UTSA Main Art Gallery located on the 2nd floor of the Arts Building. Independent curators, International ICI, an organization fostering global collaboration and curatorial innovation, turn to 30 peers from 25 countries, asking them to question and reassess the pandemic's impact and its relevance today. The result is a collection of creative works including videos, photography, installations, and murals that focus on the present conditions and how COVID has changed everyday life. The exhibit draws attention to a wide range of historic and cultural histories and advocates for change. And that's awesome. Non-profit headlines. BMW Charity Pro AM raises $625,000 for 8 upstate nonprofits. The 2024 BMW Charity Pro AM presented by TD Synnex raised more than $625,000 to benefit 8 upstate nonprofits, tournament organizers announced September 24th. Since 2001, the tournament has raised more than $16 million for South Carolina Charities, Inc., the nonprofit foundation which uses the money raised by the tournament to support the philanthropic efforts of an array of local charitable organizations. This year's proceeds will benefit the following organizations: Folds of Honor Palmetto State Chapter, providing educational scholarships to spouses and children of fallen and disabled service members; Friends of the Reedy River, promoting, preserving, and restoring the Reading River; Gibbs Cancer Center and Research Institute, offering comprehensive cancer care and research in the upstate; the Hispanic Alliance, bridging cultures and creating opportunities for the Hispanic community; Mobile Meals of Spartanburg, delivering nutritious meals and providing fellowship to homebound individuals; Neighborhood Cancer Connection, offering support and resources to cancer patients and their families; PAL, Play, Advocate, Live Well, Spartanburg, promoting physical activity and healthy living in Spartanburg County; Upstate Warrior Solution, connecting veterans and their families to resources and opportunities to ensure success. Planning for next year's tournament, which will take place June 2nd through the 8th, 2025, and will be the tournament's 25th anniversary, is already underway and will see the return of the celebrity red carpet to downtown Greenfield. For more information, visit bmwcharitygolf.com. Admin headlines. GOP Senator insults Arab American advocate at hearing on hate crimes. A Senate Republican badgered an Arab American activist Tuesday during a congressional hearing about hate crimes with questions about whether she supported terrorist organizations, finally telling her that she should, quote unquote, hide your head in a bag. Senator John Neely Kennedy of Louisiana questioned Arab American Institute Executive Director Maya Berry during a Senate Judiciary Committee hearing, asking her whether she supported Hamas, Hezbollah, or Iran, as she repeatedly told him no. Berry tried to explain how assuming that an Arab American would support a foreign terrorist organization or state was an example of the kind of thinking that leads to hate crimes, but was repeatedly cut off by Kennedy. I didn't expect a direct racist attack, Berry told the Washington Post on Wednesday. Now, that's interesting. But I mean, those activities that are going on with this Israel war is, kind of devastating because they're on university campuses, and, that just interrupts the education for American citizens. Next headline, major U.S. labor union declines to endorse either Harris or Trump. The union, which boasts some 1.3 million members across the U.S. and Canada, said it had received few commitments on top Teamsters issues from either Democratic nominee Kamala Harris or Republican nominee Donald Trump. While Donald Trump says striking workers should be fired, Vice President Harris has literally walked the picket line and stood strong with organized labor for her entire career. Campaign spokesperson Lauren Hitt said he has reached out to more populist figures within the party, such as U.S. Senators Josh Hawley of Missouri and J.D. Vance of Ohio, who is now Trump's running mate. Invited to deliver a primetime address at the event in Milwaukee, the union head praised Trump as one tough SOB, but declined to endorse him. Who's who in Eric Adams' administration? Stay focused, no distractions, and grind. Following one of his favorite phrases may very well be growing increasingly difficult for New York City Mayor Eric Adams nearly 3 years into his first term. Pressure is building on the mayor as he navigates the most difficult period of his tenure yet. At least 4 separate federal corruption investigations are encircling the ranks of the Adams administration, sowing concerns about his ability to simultaneously lead the city and fend off allegations of corruption and malfeasance. While Adams hasn't been accused of any wrongdoing, federal prosecutors' increasingly aggressive tactics suggest mounting political trouble for the mayor. Federal agents have raided the homes and seized the devices of a number of top Adams appointees in early September, including First Deputy Mayor Sheena Wright, Schools Chancellor David Banks, Deputy Mayor for Public Safety Phil Banks, top Adams aide Tim Pearson, and several high-ranking police officials. That's not a good look. Health and wellness headline. September proclaimed Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. Mayor Matthew Anesh proclaimed September as Prostate Awareness Month at the September 16th council meeting. Early detection is key in preventing the fatal progression of the disease. Whereas men with relatives, father, brother, son with a history of prostate cancer are twice as likely to develop the disease, said Anesh reading the proclamation. Whereas prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in American men and the third leading cause of cancer death behind lung and colon cancer. Anesh explained that 1 in 8 men are diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime, with 1 in 6 African American men developing the disease. Anesh added that veterans who were exposed to herbicides like Agent Orange are more likely to contract an aggressive form of prostate cancer. Education regarding prostate cancer and early detection strategies is critical to saving lives, preserving and protecting our families, said Anesh, as well as the economic and social burden of prostate cancers is huge on families. So definitely take heed to this headline, and if it's time for you to do so, definitely go ahead and get that checkup for prostate cancer. Okay. Upcoming holidays. Fall is coming, the holidays are approaching, but the following is what's noted to celebrate today. Alpaca Day, Better Breakfast Day. Isn't it wonderful to celebrate food? Dominion Status Day. It marks the day when New Zealand ceased to exist as a colony and was declared a dominion within the British Empire, which did not change its political status or influence, but it was a symbolic change towards eventual independence in 1945. Many have gained independence from Great Britain. Celebrate National Law Enforcement Suicide Awareness Day. Police officers are first responders. They tend to deal with a lot, but it's good to be cognizant of their mentality as well as their physical nature. International Day of the Total Elimination of Nuclear Weapons. Definitely need to take care with those nuclear weapons, huh? Johnny Appleseed Day, which most don't know, the American legend was an actual human being. His real name was John Chapman, and he was an American nurseryman, conservationist that introduced apples to the Midwest. Love Note Day is today, so send some warm, heartfelt love notes to your partner. How sweet. Maybe most importantly, it's National Day of Praise and Worship, a very high and honorable way to show appreciation. You can worship and give praise in many ways. Besides singing, you can paint, play an instrument, dance, or whatever you feel God would enjoy. It's about the joy of praise and worship. Tomorrow, celebrate if you can the following holidays. American Indian Day, and although this is one of the most important days in the U.S., Native American Day is a public holiday or official state observance only in some states, and some states celebrate this day on the second Monday in October. Ancestor Appreciation Day, Hug a Vegetarian Day. This is kind of funny, but maybe they do need a hug because of the lack of meat in their diet. I don't know. National Brave Day is celebrated on the last Friday of every September. Every woman knows that sometimes all that she needs is just a small nudge of encouragement in the form of timely guidance from another woman. Yet other times call for coordinated, thoughtful efforts for women in need. National Brave Day honors women who lift each other up, rescue each other, fight for each other's cause, and make each other brave. It is a day to celebrate the wise and strong women in your life. Be brave, be encouraged, be hater-proof. It is a day to celebrate the wise and strong women in your life. National Crush Day, also referred to as Crush a Can Day, is held every September 27th and highlights the importance of recycling. It's a reminder that recycling reduces carbon emissions, saves money, and cuts down on waste. National Crush Day is an opportunity for those who care about the environment and to advocate for recycling. Let's all pinch in and do our part. Native American Day is celebrated on the 4th Friday of September every year as a way of honoring those who have been a part of the American tradition, even before the nation of the USA came into being. However, the history of the Native Americans is written in blood and violence. After centuries of persecution, not much is left of the tribes, and many have integrated into modern society. Those still in touch with their roots will remember these events and honor their ancestor sacrifices. Native American Day is a holiday that hopes to change the way people view Native Americans and their culture. World's biggest coffee morning is a day to not only enjoy one of the world's favorite beverages, but also make a difference by helping raise money for people facing cancer. Globally, cancer is the second leading cause of death, with 9.6 million people dying every year. However, around 3.7 million lives could be saved each year through early detection, prevention, and treatment. World's biggest coffee morning started in 1991 when over 200,000 people took part across the UK. Now the event raises over $25 million towards Macmillan's cancer support. You know giving can have a positive influence on your self-improvement, so just remember, when thinking of yourself, think of others, because helping others can indeed in turn help you. So I know it's always, kind of like somebody's always asking for support, and there's like a lot of charities and things like that, but you have to think of the fact that some of these charities and organizations helped you at one point, whether you knew it or not. There was some kind of charitable nonprofit organization that helped you, or just someone that was trying to lend a helping hand. Nobody's here by themselves. Everybody is here, even whether you're part of a community or your family or whatever. Nobody's here alone. So there are these organizations, these charities help others. So just find some, or one or two or whatever, just support somewhere, because you never know when you'll need it or when you did need it, and these organizations were there to help you. You want to be the favorite person on your block? National Neighbor Day celebrates the importance of being a good neighbor while contributing to one's community and each other. Relationships with neighbors can often lead to close friendships. Neighbors are almost like family. They're close to you in more ways than one. Maybe too close, huh? I'm just kidding. I just talked about not being alone or whatever. But that's why National Neighbor Day, held annually on September 28th, promotes good relationships between neighbors. As Mr. Rogers would say, please won't you be my neighbor? I like to mention a holiday coming up on Saturday. National Seat Check Saturday is observed on the fourth Saturday in September every year. This day was started by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, NHTSA, in the U.S. to promote child safety and increase awareness about seat check protocols and child safety seats when traveling. These efforts were put into action due to rising numbers of car accidents in the United States, leading to countless injuries and death of children that could have been prevented if they had followed proper safety protocols. It is crucial to offer a child passenger the most basic form of safety restraint while traveling on the road. Who doesn't like a good cup of coffee? Don't forget to celebrate National Coffee Day on the 29th. While the U.S. and Canada celebrate National Coffee Day on September 29th, other nations mark this day throughout the calendar. International Coffee Day happens just 2 days later on October 1st. The International Coffee Organization has pledged to help struggling coffee farmers worldwide make a living wage. A good cup of joe is a good starter into your day, but also be careful with that cream and all those extras in your coffee. I'm talking about a good cup of black coffee. It's healthy for you. Rosh Hashanah Eve is on October 2nd. Rosh Hashanah is the new year in Judaism. The biblical name for this holiday is Yom Teruah. It is the first of the high holy days that occur in the late summer, early autumn of the northern hemisphere. This is found in Leviticus 23:23-25. Rosh Hashanah starts on October 3rd and continues to October 4th. The first day of Shirad Navrati on October 3rd as well. Feast of St. Francis of Assisi is on October 4th. Gadali fast is on October 6th. First day of Durga Puja festivities is on October 9th. Make sure to celebrate responsibly and accordingly if a holiday is one that you want to celebrate. Observing holidays, celebratory holidays. Happy holidays. Word up. Perseverance, the steadfastness in doing something despite difficulty or delay. I would not be as hater-proof as I am if it were not for my perseverance. Perseverance. This means to embody the continuous effort and determination to maintain progress over time, even when faced with obstacles. Haters are definitely obstacles that you must overcome continuously, consistently, if you will. I don't make the rules, I just live by them. You know what? I make the rules that I make. I make the rules that I make. And I live by those rules. But I also live by other rules too. You have to make your parameters and stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. And you really can't go wrong. Conspiracy or nah? The internet is dead. The dead internet theory first surfaced on the Agora Rhodes Macintosh Cafe forum in 2021 when a user started a thread called Dead Internet Theory. Most of the internet is fake. Citing posts from major online discussion forums like 4chan, the theory claimed that non-human bots are responsible for almost all online activity and content creation. At a top level, the concept is that artificial intelligence, AI, and chatbots automatically churn out social media posts designed to farm clicks, comments, and likes on platforms like like Facebook and TikTok. They do this because more engagement leads to more advertising dollars. But the accounts responding to those automatic posts are in turn bots and AI agents, the conspiracy claims. In other words, everything is happening between machines, no humans needed. Go deeper down the rabbit hole, and some dead internet proponents argue that government organizations use these bots to manipulate human opinions. Proponents argue the internet died around 2016 or 2017. We just didn't know it back then. The conspiracy theory has a little kernel of truth at its core. Bots account for around half of all internet traffic, research suggests. That said, there are definitely humans on the internet. I figured this was appropriate since AI is making a name for itself. And to be quite honest, I don't really doubt that there is possibly a supercomputer that runs most of the world on its own. Kind of weird, but not too far-fetched. Conspiracy or nah? Facts or opinion? This so-called woke era that we're living in kind of seems like a snooze fest. Hear me out though. I mean, people have run with this stay woke trend, and it was a smart campaign. Still, there are those that ruin things and twist it to their advantage. But being woke doesn't necessarily mean to let your freak flag fly. And just to be clear, I'm not speaking to anybody's particular flag, freak or fly. Is this facts? Just my opinion. G and God. So the Bible says that God wrapped himself in flesh and ranked a little lower than the angels, human. Do you think that was wise? In the military mindset, I wouldn't dare try to rank myself lower than a current position. That would be so demeaning. But I'll tell you, in the sense of being really efficient at gathering intel, it's extremely beneficial, brave, and respectful to do so. Whatever the reason, I'll consider it the wisdom to conquer hate with love. That's gangster. Solid. Remember COVID? Remember when the thing that people noticed was flying off the shelves fastest was tissue? It's interesting how tissue became such a commodity. But also remember how the grocery store worker, Walmart employees, fast food employees, all were given a newfound respect though. I mean, seriously, you have a new perspective about your neighborhood grocery store and how important its employees are. It's amazing how you can overlook someone because you think of them lower than you. But I'm sure people realize that being a McDonald's employee isn't so bad when it may be the only job available or the only place open to get food to feed your family. Solid to the essential workers in our communities. BBW. Black Harvard, Princeton, Caltech, and University of Chicago students graduated higher rates than classmates overall. According to Forbes.com, statistics from a publicly available U.S. Department of Education database reveal that 6-year graduation rates for Black students are higher at Harvard and Princeton than they are for the overall student body, as well as at other highly selective private institutions like Caltech, University of Chicago, Johns Hopkins University, Case Western Reserve University, and Wake Forest University. To quote the article, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled race-conscious college admissions policies and practices unconstitutional. Affirmative action opponents have long argued that admitting presumably unqualified applicants of color to highly selective institutions sets those students up for failure because they can't do the work. If completing a bachelor's degree is a reasonable measure of whether someone has what it takes to succeed in the Ivy League or at another highly selective university, then federal data from the 3 institutions where admission slots are among the most coveted in the world confirm that Black students are indeed more than capable and deserving of the opportunities they earn. Brian Peterson, a Black man, earned a bachelor's degree in engineering as well as a master's degree and a PhD in education, all from the University of Pennsylvania. Nothing about these graduation rates surprises me, says the 3-time Ivy League graduate who now directs Penn's Black Cultural Center and teaches in Africana studies and urban studies. Black students understand the landscape when they apply, they build community, and they tap into their resources. They've also had to prove their brilliance time and again and are aware that they're representing more than themselves. That's being Black and winning. This day in history, 1861, the Secretary of the Navy authorizes the enlistment of free Blacks and slaves as Union sailors in a bid to help the North win the Civil War against pro-slavery Southern whites who had proven more difficult in battle than the North had originally expected. This day in history, 1962, and another one of those instances demonstrating the tendency of racism among Southern whites, Mississippi Governor Ross Barnett defies the federal court order and personally stands in the door to block the admittance of a Black student, James Meredith, to the University of Mississippi. Meredith would eventually be admitted and graduate. Historians now generally believe Ross's show was primarily designed to curry favor among white voters, not actually to stop desegregation of the then all-white university. Tomorrow in history, September 26, 1867, Maggie L. Walker is born. She would become the most prominent black businesswoman in the Richmond, Virginia area and one of the wealthiest black women in the nation. She also became the first black woman to establish a bank in the nation. A social activist, she would help establish the Lily Black political party in part as a slap at white political parties of the day. Tomorrow in history. September 26, 1907, the People's Savings Bank is incorporated in Philadelphia by one of the nation's early black congressmen, George H. White. White had been pretty much forced out of Congress as Jim Crow laws led to the increasing disenfranchisement of black voters after Reconstruction. After leaving Congress, he turned his attention to black economic advancement. His bank helped thousands of blacks buy homes. This week in history, October 1966, originally dubbed the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, the organization was founded in October 1966. The Black Panthers' early activities primarily involved monitoring police activities in black communities in Oakland and other cities. Black Panther Party founders Huey Newton and Bobby Seale met in 1961 while students at Merritt College in Oakland, California. They both protested the college's Pioneer Day celebration, which honored the pioneers who came to California in the 1800s but omitted the role of African Americans in settling the American West. Seale and Newton formed the Negro History Fact Group, which called on the school to offer classes in black history. They founded the Black Panthers in the wake of the assassination of black nationalist Malcolm X and after police in San Francisco shot and killed an unarmed black teen named Matthew Johnson. My 2 cents. Those that fight consistent plans are not being as productive as they should and require more than they are worth. My 2nd sense. Having a broken heart isn't as bad as having a consistently breaking heart. BRRH. Well, it's Bird's time because Hershey has no kisses for you. So here goes. Roses are red, violets are blue. It didn't take me long to learn how to tie my shoe. I wasn't born yesterday nor last night. I can see the forest and the trees even at night. Be as it may, it's spooky season, but all year, every year, I'll give you a fright. Bye-bye. I've heard many times that consistency is key to success. But what if in all your efforts you seem to always not be consistent? You have to include yourself in being part of overcoming and growing. You can be consistent as long as you don't give up. Basically, it's up from here. Be encouraged, be brave, be hater-proof. I advise to subscribe, YouTube, Facebook, etc. Subscribe, like, comment, and be active on my platforms. Please and thank you. And the podcast Facebook page is fb.me/stillhaterproof. Enjoy your next 2 weeks because that's when I was going to say see, but when you'll hear me again. You know what I mean. Still hater proof. This is the end, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this show. Be good, be encouraged, and always party responsibly. Thanks again. Listen again and stay hater proof. Till the next episode. To the next episode.